What's up, Chiefs Kingdom, and everybody else that's listening? You're on another episode of Chiefs Focus Live. We got JP, we got Justin, we got our man, BooBoo Smith on. What's up, bro?
Good. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good.
Doing good.
Glad you're happy. Glad you're on the show, man.
Glad
you're on the show.
Very glad.
So, you've been doing a little bit of traveling, talking to some teams. Tell us what's going on, man.
Very busy. It's very busy. Especially trying to get the opportunity. But it's very, very hard. I did a lot of traveling so far. Been doing a lot of traveling these last few months. Teams, NFL, XFL, whichever way I can get it. Keep on striving, one step at a time.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yep.
Justin, what you got, buddy?
I mean, hey, we're just here to sit down, talk some football and everything. So tell us a little about yourself, where you played, all this. Break it down.
Originally, I'm Kansas City, born and raised. Kansas City, Missouri. I played high school ball at Raytown, not too far from where I'm at right now. Raytown High School. After high school, I went to Mid-America for a semester, I should say. And I ended up leaving there out of the semester, going to a junior college called Community College outside of Oklahoma, right there, right on the border of Oklahoma and Kansas. Ran track, played football there. Used my track skills, really helped me out. Originally, I was supposed to go to Oklahoma State. That's where I went to play ball and run track at. And I decided to go home, stay home. I did a lot of things to figure out what I was going to do. Stayed at home, went to Mizzou, finished 2 seasons there, and ended up here where I'm at now. So
there you go. Yep.
I got a buddy who did the same thing you did, man. I got a friend that played in the NFL for 9 years, and he was a track star out of Oregon. And they, the coach there decided, saw him running and said, "Hey, man, why don't you come and try out for the team?" And he was a little guy, though. He was little, 157 pounds, 5'10".
Is the Anthony Thomas?
No, J.J. Burden.
J.J. Burden. I actually know that name.
Yeah, he played for the Chiefs for five. I think five out of the 9 years. So he's a good dude, man. Good wide receiver. Yeah. Very good wide receiver. Just in the wrong era. Wrong era of football. When you're playing for Marty, man, you didn't get a whole lot of shot, so as a wide receiver anyway. But
very tough.
Yep.
So you spent some time with the Chiefs on the mini camp and stuff. Just talk about that. How was that, the transition to the league, just kind of the first welcome to the big league moment stuff?
Welcome to the big league moment. Just to be completely honest, it's one thing I would say, just to start off saying, I think about the Chiefs is very organized, and they're just a good culture team. So everything is very upfront. Know your assignment, know your business. But at the same time, they have a lot of fun there. You got a lot of coaches, good coaches around. You don't really see too much negativity from my time. So that was fun. But the welcome to the big leagues, believe it or not, I felt was very kind of normal. Only thing I would say just different, I played in the SEC. They always compare the SEC, the closest thing to NFL. So it wasn't far off in my opinion. But at the same time, you kind of see, when I was there, you see a lot of rookies. But at the same time, you see a lot of vets that's just not also as well known. So my time, welcome to the big leagues, was actually fun. It was fun. But at the same time, I knew what was going on. So I felt the speed wasn't too change of a tempo for me. I knew my assignments, knew what I had to do, but I also pay attention a lot. I'm good at remembering my playbook, and I study film a lot. So I was kind of ready for it. And, I got a friend I call my brother. He also, he works for the Chiefs. So he's also like, hey, be prepared for this. So I kind of was ready for everything. So thanks to him for that. So I stayed in the book a lot. So the camp and everything like that went pretty smooth. Everything just went very good, and I was just really excited to just be out there and just show my talent. So, but just playing the SEC kind of helped me a lot.
Did you catch anything from Mahomes?
Nah.
Just wondering.
That's everybody's first question. I say no, but Yeah, I was just saying. I feel like one of these days when it's in the game or something is when I feel like it all hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So obviously, you major as a receiver. Couple plays there at Mizzou, coming out of the backfield as a running back, and then obviously returning. How do you think that sets you apart from the other guys that are maybe competing against you with these spots?
Well, just being like my pops always taught me to be able to play every position. I played running back, corner, safety, so everything was kind of normal for me. But one thing about that, I also was learning how to be a returner at a very young age too. So I always knew that special teams always kept you on the field, and that's one thing I ever learned in high school. Special teams kept you on the field, but what sets me apart is, like you said, I can run the ball, catch the ball, and also return. Special teams do play one of the biggest role, in my opinion, from a kicker all the way to a returner, as in simply from making a fair catch or just flipping the field. So that's one of the biggest things. But at the same time, I can also catch a screen behind the line of scrimmage and take it 90 yards, or I can also go catch a 90-yard bomb. So that also separates you a lot from just being not down to no bigger receiver or slower receiver, but just being able to versatile doing everything. You can put me in a slot, the outside, anything. I can also be a gunner for you. So that also help separates me very well, just to be able to do everything.
Well, the one thing, man, a 4.3 is not slow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that ain't slow, bro. I mean, I'm telling you. So nobody can complain about that. That's for sure. You got the speed.
And I mean, yeah, you're the type of guy. I mean, just your playing style. I mean, we just say you're the kind. We make plays around you. That's kind of how. I mean, you can do it all. So you're the perfect. Just come in and, like you were saying, screens and all sorts of fancy stuff. I think that's what makes you a good fit for these teams. Is that, I mean, they can throw you in and they can build plays around your style because it's perfect. I mean, just kind of getting fun with it.
Yeah, and also I always think of it, and also I agree with that. I also think that just you can play around my style, but at the same time, I'm also a team player, which I have no problem running a go ball just to clear up an out route coming behind me or something like that.
Right.
So I'm humble, and I just want to win. That's my biggest thing. Whatever can win, and if I feel like it's in my hand, which Mamba mentality, of course, I want it in my hands, but just you can.
Any good competitor, that's the way they think, man. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, especially in today's league. Oh,
yeah.
JP, you want that?
I was just gonna say with the way I know right now, with you're moving and checking things out and looking to see what's out there, and the thing you said to me that I know is something that Andy and Taub and Nagy and all those guys look at is somebody that's detail oriented. That really puts in the mindset and has the mindset to be able to watch the film, get into the playbook, make sure you understand it. Andy's done things to people out of the blue just to see if they understand it. I mean, you can ask, Brett Veach will flat out tell you, he was Andy's cheeseburger guy. That's what he did. He ran and got Andy cheeseburgers and French fries when he wanted them, when Andy was up at midnight, making up plays with the Eagles. But he handed, he was going on vacation, and he handed Brett Veach a pad of paper. He said, I want you to write down all these free agents, all the rookies, and I want you to tell me everything they can do, can't do, what position you think they can play, and where their weaknesses are. He spent 4 straight days doing this. 4 straight days, day and night, didn't sleep, did it all, man. And he comes back, Veach hands it to him. He said, oh, you did that? He goes, yeah. He said, good. Okay. He set it down, never even looked at it. And it wasn't the fact that he didn't want to look at it. It was just wanted to see if he could do it. And he eventually did look at it. And he was really happy with what he'd seen. But it was just the fact that he wanted to see if he'd do it. And something else that you said that is a plus for the Chiefs is being humble, because this is a true spread offense. This is not a team that, this is not the DK Metcalf show. This isn't the, OBJ show. This is the whoever the hell's out on the field and catch a ball show. That's that's really what it all boils down to. So, people that fit within this system are usually guys that understand that that's where they're at right now. And that's how this team is successful is because nobody knows where you're coming from. And if you remember, I'm sure you followed the Chiefs. We got stagnant and we got very predictable when Tyreek Hill was here, especially towards the end. They knew what we were doing. They went to that 2 high safety. They, it really limited the play calling ability for Andy. That's why they had to change things up. One of the reasons why they changed things up.
Yeah.
So I think you, like I told you before the show, man, don't count the Chiefs out because you just never know when they're going to call you and say, "Hey, man, get your ass down to the field."
Yeah.
So
Another thing that you brought up Nagy. They are very oriented, and they do got a lot of good coaches around there too. I also like Nagy. This is one play that I'm gonna just bring up. I don't know if I should probably word this and not get in trouble. That's like that. It's certain plays where they make an audible to it, and you gotta be on your P's and Q's, knowing your assignment. And the thing was, I had Crum at quarterback during that time. They released him now, but Nagy just was excited that I kind of knew what I had to do just to change the audible. It's basically changing it to a corner route when you kind of got man across the board and then a goal line and you're the third inside receiver. And just the fact that I heard the quarterback doing that, and regardless, we just kind of went over that probably 30 minutes prior. Even though it's in the book, you just never knew that it was going to get called. So just the fact that the quarterback knew it and I knew it, I was just like, yeah. And Nagy came up to me right after, like, good catch, good play. And I just kind of, he brought up that was very good details. And the fact that you just said that just kind of reminded me of that, because that's one thing, just knowing your assignment, especially because you never know when it's going to get called. Of course, watch the books, study the film and stuff like that, but you never know when they, even on the practice field, quarterback might like, hey, let's try this out. And helped me out. I believe it helped me out very much, just knowing my assignments.
Yeah.
So that just because they are very detail oriented.
Yep. That's what I was going to hit on earlier. You're talking about just kind of waiting for your opportunity and being willing to run a go out to open somebody else up, especially in today's league where it's a me league. Don't get me wrong. I know you want that ball, but that's when the opportunities come, is when you're, working for the team and then knowing what to do when it does come your way. That's just how the opportunities, they just grow. And when you get your shot, you just make it count. And so I think that's important.
You got to know, because you never know. It comes when it's least expected. And that's the thing, especially with this team. And the way, especially with the way Mahomes plays the game, you watch him. This dude's, he's as unorthodox as they come, and will make up plays on his own just by scrambling and figuring things out. So they have to, it's off script a lot. There's a lot of times that there's scripted plays and, it goes that direction, but I would probably give it 45-50% shot that is probably off script, especially when it comes to Mahomes, Kelsey, that combination there. Those dudes, they're in sync, and that's the one thing that, you gotta have that mindset. JJ always used to say he had a sixth sense. I used to tell JJ he had a sixth sense because he always knew what was coming before it happened. And that's something that sets you apart. It does. It sets you apart from other players. A lot of guys, you'll see them, they're running the route wrong, or they're, they think it's an out route, and it ends up being a slant or whatever the case is, or out and go, and then they end up just stopping and turning. The ball's, 25 feet past them to the right, or something insane, and that's part of the game. That's part of the way they do things. But I don't know, man. I looked at a lot of your stuff prior to you coming on, and you would be a good fit for this team. You would definitely be a good fit for this team.
I hear that a lot. I hear a certain amount of teams, certain teams that spark interest, but me also being a Kansas City native is kind of big. I'm very known here, but at the same time, speed and explosiveness, and also just being able to, always saying, just being humble and not be me helps you win a lot. Because some days you can catch 7 passes, some days you can catch 2. But as long as y'all all find a way, if it requires me to just block for Pacheco, like, I'm all for it. I just want to win.
That's it, man.
That's something I was. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say one thing. How you just said, like kind of knowing one time it can be a slant or just knowing what's going on. I just told you guys, I just got done working out, and my boy that plays for Virginia Tech, me and him literally was just talking about that as well. We are so like film studied, so we watch a lot of film, but at the same time, we study the game a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing that also helps me out with teams because I know what's coming a lot more, and especially going to camp and when Matt, and then you got Spagnola is defensive coordinator. I was also seeing a lot of new things, and I was always prepared for it. Again, also playing SEC, you see teams like Georgia, Kentucky, and stuff like that where they got a little different. But I always was knowing what was going on because I study film and just I'm very big, so that like you just said, just knowing what's going on does help a lot.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And Spags has a crazy bunch of packages and schemes that he runs that a lot of people don't expect it, to happen. And, we talked about this on prior shows, and we've had other guys on the show that have talked about this as well. We struggled in the defensive side of the ball, and everybody blames Spags, but it really wasn't Spags. A lot of it has to do with the position coaches. And there for a while, we had some situations to where some of the position coaches weren't that great. Our cornerbacks coach was terrible. Thank God he was gone. Um, and then when you bring a Joe Cullen in as your D line coach, you've seen what it did for the defensive line. In one season, just transformed it. I mean, they did not look like anything we've had in a long, long time. So, and a linebacker core is really good. I mean, it's all about coaching, and it's all about. I will tell you this: the one thing I like about the way our coaches do things, especially Andy, is that he doesn't push upon a player to be a certain person or a certain way. He,
Yourself.
yes, he lets you be yourself and he directs you, but he doesn't demand you to do it a certain way. Whether it be personality wise, other than doing something stupid off the field, he ain't gonna let you do that. But he, how do I word this? He adapts to everybody's personality and everybody's playing style, and he finds that niche that most coaches miss. And when he can find that niche in you, he will exploit it and he'll make you a better player.
The
And
puzzle,
that's what he's gotten out of all of his coaches now. So,
man. Put the puzzles together.
yeah, yeah,
Fine.
that's
That's
exactly
right.
it.
Yep. So JP mentioned. Oh,
Oh,
he's loading back
he'll be
in.
back.
There we
There
go.
he's back. He's back.
But JP mentioned you being a good fit for the Chiefs, and I just wanted to mention. I mean, especially, I mean, before we having you on, doing my research and everything, and especially now talking to you. I mean, obviously you'll be a great fit regardless of where you go. Just the play style, your mindset. All 32 teams will be lucky to have you. But I just think if you can find a team that'll utilize your unique skill set and your diversity, and kind of like how I mean that's why the Chiefs will make a good fit is because they also have a unique offensive scheme. So then when you find someone that can just parallel with that, I mean, sky's the limit for that. It's just insane. So
Biggest.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Just the unique styles. Like I said before, I can catch a jet screens, a down screens. I can end arounds, reverses, deep ball, and I'm all for that because if it's a lot of misdirections and stuff like that, it all works really good. Especially when you got Mahomes directions and stuff like that. Like I always think about like if I was next to KT, like I played against him when he was at Florida.
oh
Just
yeah,
playing and got guys like that. But the biggest thing why I would say why I would love Kansas City, Coach Toad as special teams coordinator. He designs special teams returns, and I ain't never had a coach that designed returns. Even at Mizzou, the yards I was getting was like,
Those were your yards.
yeah, like I was always catching it with a bunch of guys in my face, finding a way to make people miss. And a lot of
mm-hmm.
coaches showed that even if it ain't a return, that's a good play. So
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of like special teams coaches and coordinators that just talk about like if we can get you a couple blocks. So, but I would just I love Toad. I just and
Yeah.
Coach Hill. So that's the biggest thing. I do want to become one of the NFL's top returners, but one day at a time. One day at a time. I'm just strive and just head down and Lord's will, somebody grab me because, like you said before, you never know. You never know. It
That's
can't
right.
gonna hit you when you least expect it.
Exactly.
Yep. So you
So
mentioned, I mean,
go ahead.
oh,
Go ahead.
you
No, I was just going to
return
ask him
man,
really
running
quick
back.
if he could throw out who he's visited with, but I'll let you finish what you're going to say, and then I'll ask him some questions.
All right. I mean, obviously a receiver, return man, running back a little. You talked about playing all these different positions growing up. I mean, so who did you look up to player wise when you were a kid and when you were a young guy coming up? I mean, who were you trying to be like? I mean, you know what I mean?
You guys might know the X Factor. That's
Yeah.
always big on that. But my favorite player of all time is always gonna be Devin.
Yeah.
Devin
Yep.
has, and reason why he played corner, played receiver, and he also is the greatest return man if you ask me. But my pops always tell me Dante Hall's little, Priest Hall little, and they bad just like me. So I was always small, and Dante Hall is always small. So the smaller guys I looked up to, especially like Deshaun Jackson, Devin Hester, and Dante Hall. Like those guys, idolize my games over them the most, especially Ocho Cinco. That's why I idolize my
Oh yeah.
receiver game over because footwork is one thing I believe I'm very good at. My footwork, route running ability, and stuff like that. But return stuff, D-Jack, Deshaun, and Dante and Devin did that. All those they got it. They got it. So that's why I idolize my game over. My all-time favorite is gonna be Devin Hester. That's my guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Good answer. Good answer.
you can't really get much better than Devin Hester and Dante Hall. So
Yeah.
those two guys were in a league of their own. That's for sure. So so can you talk about who you visited, or can you not? Is
I,
that something you can't bring up, or can't? I mean, it don't matter to me. I'm just saying, if
yeah,
you can spit it out there, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
I probably on the safe side, I'm gonna say no, just because my ages and stuff like that. Prohibit me to say certain things like that. But I will say I've been to tryouts and stuff like that. I've been to like what's the ANC tryout and the XFL tryout, but
Yeah.
I don't know about the specific teams because I don't know how that plays out.
Yeah.
But the NFL and stuff like that. I'm all I don't want no fines, no.
I hear you. I hear you. Who's your agent, by the way?
Tabitha Plummer.
Oh,
With
okay.
same as she also got a lot of people. Deion Sanders, Shiloh, the Sanders, Bryce Young is also with us as well. So I got a good agency. It's 4 ladies, Tamika as well, Tab, Tracy. I love all them. They just like they're all female, and they make me feel like a son to them because I look up to them, and they also give me motherly advice and stuff like that. Also, just being humble and staying ready. That's the biggest thing. I want you to stay ready at all times. Take care of your body. They make sure my body's taken care of. If I need anything, but at the same time, they do work. They work hard, and I'm actually glad I chose them. They found me, or however you want to call it, but in reality, I'm glad I'm with them.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, there's some agents out there you want to stay clear of. I mean, not because of a money situation, but sometimes they give you bad advice because what goes into what goes into your pocket goes into their pocket, a percentage, and they're looking at they get paid off the overall number. They don't get paid off of your net. You know what I'm kind of saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. They are a good group. I've heard nothing but good things about them. So that's a good group.
I'm about to say they just all females for some reason. Sometimes female agents, in my opinion, they get it done. They get it
Yeah.
done. They get it done. So
That's all that matters.
I'm blessed
That's all
to
that
have.
matters.
Yep.
What you got, Justin?
Well, I mean, we got to get a little creative here, right? I mean, we talk all this serious sports and inside and stuff. I mean, you see all these. I like breaking down just random questions, just kind of getting to know. Favorite game day song? What's your go-to? You got one song on the aux. What are you putting on?
One song on the Ox. believe it or not, I'm a Kansas City boy at heart. You know, I'm I'm a big fan of an artist, MB5H. I play a lot. He got the song Drink. He got a lot of songs, but what it I can't even give you which song because YG is my favorite artist. I play a lot of YG a lot. So Still Brazy is a song that I like because I always think that I gotta go crazy if I'm on the field. So that always makes me feel like, all right, I gotta do something crazy. But I always listen to MB58 a lot. But I wouldn't say I have a go-to song. But if you put Meek Mill in your headphones, probably Meek Mill, Trauma, or I can't even tell you a song. I just know those three artists. Yeah,
I like it.
I can't.
I mean, you can't go wrong with those three on game day. I mean,
No, definitely not.
it's good.
Definitely cannot.
A lot of times when I travel to like certain like you know stadiums and stuff like that, most of the time Meek Mill normally pops up bigger the stadium. So he's a he gets you hype.
Uh-huh.
Man, now you got me thinking about the Patriots, and I don't want you to go there. So, that's what I'm saying.
So, coming from KC, were you a Chiefs fan growing up too?
I was a Chiefs fan. I was a Chiefs
That's
fan.
awesome.
Yeah, Dante Hall was my favorite player, and also my pops and my uncle loved like red down. I wish I should have did this interview at his house. He got the whole basement full of Chiefs gear, Chiefs everything,
Heck yeah.
cars, everything. He even got Nick Bolt up there. I need Nick to sign that poster for. I need to tell Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Heck yeah.
Look, Nick. He changed a lot of people's perspective as the linebacker position. They didn't. A lot of people. It's funny how fan bases are and how they get and
Up and down sometimes.
up and down. And nobody's worse than Philly, but when it comes down to it, a certain player gets drafted. Oh, why'd they do that? Why'd they pick this guy? Why'd they do that? And then all of a sudden, those tweets are deleted pretty quick after about one or two games because Nick Bolton changed. He changed our linebacker core. Him and Willie Gay together are just dangerous. So that's why when I hear people say stuff about certain players, and I'm very pro player because I played a professional sport, and I've been around a lot of players my entire life, so I know what it takes to get there. So I don't trash a player. We've never done that, whether it's via our website or shows or anything over all these years. It's just something we won't do. And if you make it to the level that you're at right now, you're doing something right. Okay, I mean it just is what it is. When I tell people all the time, if you make it to an NFL tryout and you're playing in the NFL in any capacity, it doesn't matter what it is. Somebody's seen something in you that made you become an NFL player, or at least to get to that level, whether it be right now or 2 weeks from now or a month from now, it don't matter. When you're getting scouted, that's a different, you're in a different level than other people. So, you got all these couch potatoes out there that, sitting there eating ice cream, talking about how they know the game so well. They don't. I mean, I spent a lot of years on that football field, man, with a lot of friends, and there's nothing. I mean, I play baseball, so it's a different situation, that wasn't easy. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't anything like football. I mean, nothing like football. After watching, and I grew up. Look, man, I'm older than both you dudes put together, so.
Good, you look good.
I don't know about that, but it was weird because when I got injured, a friend of mine took me to Arrowhead and made me get out of the house and get out of the funk I was in. And he said, let's go to a football game. Played for the Royals. And I said, man, I don't want to go to no damn game. He said, yeah, you do. Let's go. So we ended up at the game. And that's when I got in the locker room and I met the entire 92-93 season, the roster, and Joe Montana and Derek Thomas, Neil Smith. And Derek Thomas ended up being my best friend. And we lived 4 doors from each other and didn't even know it. I had no clue. And we spent, I talked to him in the morning he passed away. So, right 3 hours before he died. So it was one of those things that when you get to sit on a field even though you're not playing the game, and you get to sit there and watch what these guys put themselves through, what you guys put yourself through to become what you are. Until they put themselves in that position, shut the hell up. Because you don't know what you're talking about. And that's just, I've told people that, man. I've gotten belligerent with people because of that. Because it irritates me when somebody slams a player. Justin will tell you, I've snapped on some people a few times because of that. I don't play that, man. I mean, I know what it's like. I've been there. I spent too many years watching you guys, watching players put themselves, their bodies in just the weirdest compromising positions and getting beat to death. And back then, I'll tell you now, it wasn't like it is today where offense and defense, when you're in training camp, they got along. They didn't get along. There was no getting along. They hated each other. I mean, I've seen guys beat the shit out of each other with helmets. I mean, and they're on the same team. I'm like, I asked Derek one time, I said, what the hell, man? He goes, what? And I said, they're beating the shit out of each other for no reason. And he goes, yeah, that's we don't like each other during. He said, but on Sunday we're all brothers. He said, but Monday through Friday we're not. He said it just we're against each other, and that it's changed a lot. It's not like that now for the most part. I mean, most of these guys, they get along fairly well. I mean, I've seen offensive players fight other offensive players before I see offensive defensive fight. Like we watched Josh Allen fight with his offensive lineman for no reason whatsoever. But the game has changed so much since back in those days. I was there from basically 91 to 2005, close with the team. Still fairly close to a lot of guys on the with the organization, but not so much of the players that are there now. It's just it's a violent sport that people have to realize that not everybody can do. And when you get out there and you played it, so I'm not telling you anything different. But these fans out there that think they know, they don't know.
That's I always say to a couch potato. A lot of people that say a lot. I'm big not criticizing anyone either. That's why, like earlier, I said not even going down bigger receivers because everybody got different attributes and stuff like that. But you got to realize, besides combat sports, because I grew up boxing as well. Besides combat sports, I feel like football and a lot of professional sports, but football is one of the most physically, mentally, and emotionally hardest sports to do. And you got to realize just simply remembering the playbook the whole time throughout the game, making sure you're healthy and making sure you're just mentally prepared to play. Because you got guys that sometimes, especially on defense, you got guys that's ready to lose their mind. And first person they see, they're trying to run through.
They want to kill.
Yeah, I got to make sure I'm prepared to take a hit, deliver a hit, know my play, know my assignment. A lot of people just, like you said, just don't know. Football,
we just don't know.
Yeah, football. Like at Mizzou, Coach Drink was always saying, "Ain't nobody else gonna do it. It's only gonna be y'all." And you got to realize it because, like at home, if you go watch, let's say Tennessee or Arkansas or wherever, Philadelphia, Chiefs, or whoever you watch play, you watching them. But when you put on that helmet and you're a part of it, your perspective of it changes differently. No one else can go out there for you. You got to do your assignment. And I always think about that, especially bigger games. I mentally can be nervous or this or that, and especially being a returner. Sometimes I might be the first person to touch the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just
that's, so one thing I just tell everybody, the stands were built for the fans. If everybody could do it, they'd all be on the field. So that's just something that, people don't take that into consideration a lot of times when they want to get on. And that's, if anything, man, I'm sure you've learned it. You've been on social media enough, you can't take anything that these fools say at heart because ain't none of them done what you've done. So yeah, it is what it is. But
luckily I ain't had no bad yet. Only thing look, I got, but I didn't get 18. Everybody know that. So,
yeah.
I mean,
like, okay.
yeah. I mean, the more the more hate you get, the more. I mean, that's how you know you're really making it. Because I mean, you start
That's
getting
true.
to the point where these guys are critiquing your every move. That's where you want to be. I think. I think that's just fine.
That's absolutely
But
true. I mean, you're gonna get it from both directions. You'll get, and Justin's 100% right. If you start getting a bunch of hate, that just means people are they're scared of you. That's really what it all boils down to. I mean, Mahomes gets more hate than anybody in football, and he's one of the nicest guys on the planet.
He is. I feel like there's nothing bad to say about him, and it's just
No,
I feel like
no.
with LeBron. I feel like you don't see LeBron in the media about nothing too bad. And it's just the hate is crazy.
They hate you because they ain't you, man. That's just really what it all boils down to be. I mean, it just, huh?
My mom says they hate you because they ain't you.
That's true.
That's
I
right.
mean, it's true, bro. I mean, believe me, I had a player, a baseball player that didn't play my position that hated my guts, hated me, bro, and I didn't understand why. I didn't really get the whole concept of why this guy hated me as much. And I asked another player, I said, "What the hell's his deal?" He said he's worried he's going to take your TV. You're going to take his TV time. I said, "Take his TV time? We don't even play the same damn position." I mean, he plays third base. I'm a pitcher. What? And he said, "Yeah, man. He wants to be the show guy. He wants to be the guy that the face of the team. Blah 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 blah." And it's like, man, you could shit. If I wanted to be on TV, I could. I'll be on TV. I mean, I don't want to be on TV. I don't care about all that. I care about winning and playing and enjoying what I do. And mine was short lived. I got injured and it didn't last. I got 4.5 years out of it, but it wasn't nearly what I wanted. But I got to have fun doing it, and I got to learn and meet a whole lot of people after the fact. I mean, and still to this day, I get to meet a whole lot of people. We've had Tom Bali on the show. We've had old friends of mine like Tim Grunhart. We've had Derek Thomas's son on. Very nice kid. Remember him when he was like a little 5-6 year old kid running around the locker room. Him and my son going in the equipment room and putting on tape, and they come out wrapped up like mummies with a helmet on, slamming head first into walls and tables. I mean, it was just the fun you had back in those days. Just to watch and see the stuff that makes up so much more than just what people think. The perception of the game is. So. What's this dude say? He says the real old man has a forever man crush on J.J. Bird. I don't even know who Robert Settle is. Hang on. See what I mean? You see the kind of shit I get?
Probably, I want to say probably a year ago. I forgot where I was at, but I literally was telling him, I think I was coming off of mini camp, so probably a year ago, talking to him about it. He just gave me a whole spiel about how the NFL works and kind of what we're talking about right now. You never know who's watching, who's this. So every opportunity you take, any opportunity you get, you take it. Yeah, and I remember he told me that but he brought up Andy Reid's a great coach, and he like guys that he uses the name of like not bigger names.
Yeah.
Most Chiefs besides Mahomes and Kelsey and stuff like that, you got like people didn't expect Pacheco to be Pacheco or Bo to be Bo. Like that's just what they know what they got going on.
Yeah, that's why all these Chiefs fans, man, you're 100% right. That's why all these Chiefs fans, I mean, dude, it's funny when you watch Twitter during the draft or in free agency. I mean, anybody that gets cut, we got to sign him. If we signed every player that these fans wanted, we'd have a 175-man roster. I mean, honestly, it's insane to think, and it's always the guys that get cut that are either they got a big name from one season, or it was mentioned a lot on ESPN, or whatever the case may be. Dude, we won a Super Bowl with 10 rookies on our team, and 7 of them were active. That's not normal.
Young receiving core, young secondary, everywhere. It's only gonna get better. Chemistry is only gonna get better. So I don't.
That's right.
I don't get it.
I don't either, man. But
I got a question. I got a question for y'all.
What's that?
Let's go.
How do y'all like the first round pick?
Our first round pick?
I picked this
I,
year.
dude, Justin, you go. I'll let you go first.
I mean, all right. So first off, just
Hmm.
just him being from K State, I like it already. Like I just like these local guys, kind of bring him in close. Like you're from Kansas City, I'm like, bring him on. Like let's go. All these local guys. That's what I like when it comes to these NFL teams. And then also, I mean, we lost Frank Clark. He was one of my favorite Chiefs. Got a chance to interview him and stuff. So losing him sucked. But I mean, just having this guy come in, I mean, just their playing styles are so similar. And I think this guy's a beast. I'm excited to have him on.
Yeah,
I
man,
mean,
he's gonna be good.
yeah,
What do you think of him?
yeah.
I,
Let's hear you.
I'm about to say I'm a fan of him. You know, he also went to Lee Summit, which not.
Hmm.
But I have a friend, boy, AD, was telling me like, man, he's gonna be a first rounder, he's gonna be a first rounder, and everybody didn't believe him. But in my opinion, I'm like, no, he can play ball. And you know, a lot of times people got their opinions on Big 12 linemen, and I'm
Yeah,
like, if
Hmm.
you get around that edge, that's all. If you just need him to do that one thing, that's all you need him to do. Because you got a lot of guys. If if Chris Jones needs to do this, and he needs the rookie to get around the edge for him, that's what he got to do. Get the best edge rusher you can get. So I like the pick. I don't see what everybody's so mad about so much, but
No, I know everyone's all mad. I'm all here. I'm here for it. I like it.
they
I do
gonna
too.
find a way to make it work.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were mad about Rasheed Rice, bro.
Yeah,
How you?
I actually was watching him, and again, they get names that everybody just not big of and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
I watched him in college, and I think he's great, especially being like 6'2", good speed, fast enough. Well, I ain't gonna say fast. He's fast, but you know I run a little faster.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so it's like I don't. I feel like good fits all around, and then got to be the most picks, but when you got a team that knows how to chemistry and mold together, you can operate with anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing I will tell you is that I was told that we were going to go after a tight end, and that tight ended up we weren't normally we can trade up. You know, we got teams that we can trade up with that are usually in that first to 10 round, 15 round uh, area, or 15th pick, I should say, and we couldn't trade up. Nobody would trade up with us, but I wanted that tight end. I mean, I did, and he was the closest to me of a Travis Kelsey that was in college at that level or at that time. There is one guy that's in college that's coming out next year. It's a little more like Travis Kelsey, but
I'm about to say,
uh,
because he plays in SEC East.
yep, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So he's good. He's damn good. Both those guys modeled their game after Kelsey, but the one thing Veach, he's smart and he knows
What
he
he
knows
doing?
that guy's coming up next year, and it'll all work out. And that's the way. That's why I like talking to some of the guys that are younger that haven't, whether they haven't been picked up yet or they've been with the team for a short period of time, whatever. And say they get picked up by somebody else like the Giants. Tony was he was on Veach's draft board. He wanted him that year. But it's weird, and Justin will attest to this, man. Every time Veach wants somebody, somehow he ends up with them within the first 2 years after the draft. I don't know what it is with this dude, but he figures it out.
I
And
know.
Andy's the same way. So,
Beach don't forget names and faces. I remember
no.
Yep.
when we all got to meet. I remember that's one thing I asked about. I forgot which question I specifically asked him. I asked him two questions, but I just remember his answer was he don't forget names or faces. That's
Yeah.
that's all I did to know. And other than that, I just try to make myself remember because the first time you're a face, the second time you'll remember. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, the one thing I would tell you about Veach, and I do know this 100%, is that he's not your run of the mill GM. He's not that John Dorsey that's sitting in an office somewhere eating ice cream, asking people to go find him players. Veach is on a plane in the middle of nowhere looking at high school players, and then he wants film from those high school players and what college they go to, and then he wants film from that college, and he follows them through their career. And that's something that he is very big on. He's not lazy. He's a workhorse. Dude's a workhorse. And if he sees something, if he's got the room, he'll get the room, or he'll put you in there. And if you don't have the room and he wants you bad enough, he'll make the room. That's just what he does.
Hope you
So
make room for me. I'm flavor right now.
yeah,
But it's crazy you said that. I met another GM. I ain't gonna say the team name, or whatever. But he said that kind of thing to me. He's been watching me my whole career. That I've seen you when you was with the Chiefs, Mizzou. I also went back all the way from your high school. It's crazy how like you just never know who's literally watching.
it's true. I mean, it's true. There was players that were in the draft that I had never even, and I follow as much as I can, but there were some players that I had never even heard of, and I thought, man, where'd this guy come from? Like even Pacheco. I was like, Pacheco, wait a minute. Where the hell did where did he play at? And then I went and watched his film. And I went, damn, this guy's killing worms 6 inches deep.
Yeah.
He ain't playing. This dude runs. He's angry, man. He's mad at everything.
Yeah, that's my guy.
So
my yeah. He's but I remember watching him in college though. But I was sometimes I feel like college athletes watch college sports a lot. Yeah, I remember watching him. I'm like, man, I just remember him running through somebody. I can't remember. Was it Maryland? I can't remember the game. Yeah, I just remember he ran through somebody, and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, this guy's tough. And then being around him, he brings some juice. He brings energy, most definitely.
He brings the heat, that's for sure, man. Look who's here, Chiefs Live. What's up, bro? How you doing, my man? This is one of our longtime listeners, man. He's on the show all the time. If you got any questions, just ask, man. So anyway, Justin, what you got?
I got to ask. I mean, obviously, dream scenario, first round pick, instant starter, all that. But I mean, I think that there's stuff that you can benefit from having kind of the more hard fought road to success. I mean, what's something that you think you'll benefit from? Does that make sense? I mean,
you saying from like not being a first rounder and stuff like that?
Yeah, just kind of happen to have the longer thought out process to ending up on a team. And I mean, do you think you'll benefit from that?
I personally think I am. I felt like my whole life I kind of benefited just off of that. Not even go deep into the details, but just really, as they say, really getting it out the mud. Really just striving for everything because just to go back, out of high school, I was All-American. I mean, All-State, All-Conference, I got everything, and I didn't really get no offers. JUCO, I had to walk on, earn my playing time there. Walked on at Mizzou, earned my playing, and I wasn't even supposed to be where I'm at right now. So I just felt like the long, hard process is kind of what makes me who I am because I always felt like I've been doubted. So I feel like doubt kind of brings me up. And at the same time, a lot of people just not in my shoes. So they don't understand that, like, you can't let worries and negative thoughts feed into your successful ones. So I try to push those away as far as I can because this time I'm like, man, what if somebody don't get me? I'm not playing this year. I just felt like time gonna come and I work too hard. Hard. And I'm like, so when that time comes, it's like, this is what I want. So now I got to take it completely.
Hey, man, I will give you this.
Awesome.
And that's all I'm going to say about this. Everybody if you look at our draft picks since Veach has become the GM, most of the 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, the undrafted guys, are the best players on our team. And that's because you guys have been through the grind. You've been through that grind, man. And that grind makes, one, it humbles you, but two, it makes you more hungry. You don't come in with the chip on your shoulder that you're a first-round Heisman Trophy candidate or winner. You come in as I got something to prove, and I'm going to prove it. You know, and that's what I've always been big on the later round picks or even undrafted guys because they're the ones that usually are the bigger success stories. I mean, think about it, man. Me and Justin talk about this all the time. How many first round draft pick quarterbacks, first round draft pick quarterbacks, can you remember that are still playing the game
We talked about
or
this.
or are actually still a starter and have won a Super Bowl? I mean, I can't remember many.
Only
Yeah.
big name that really come to mind to me is Vic, if I'm not mistaken.
Vic, was he a first rounder?
I think Vic was, or was he?
I can't
I think he
remember.
was.
I
I think
think
he was.
I think Vic was because I
He was
remember.
number one overall that year.
Oh, he wasn't number one overall.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ah,
I'm talking about guys that come in that are number one overall quarterbacks,
oh yeah,
Heisman Trophy runner-ups, or winners, and I'm talking about specifically the quarterback position. You look at those guys. How many of them can you remember right now that won a Super Bowl, or are still playing the game, or played past the first 2-3 years as a starter, or through their rookie contract? Because I can name 5 right now that didn't.
yeah. I'm thinking about the ones that kind of didn't. I can't even nah because I don't.
And where's Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Leaf, Elvis Gerback. I could go back a long ways and bring up all these guys that won all the. There's a lot of things that play into that, but yeah, you're drafted by one of the worst teams. Or the worst team from the prior season. But in the same aspect, you're brought in to make them better. And if you can't do that, it's not always because of coaching. A lot of times it's because of your ego. In Baker Mayfield's case, his ego got in his way. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Drew Lock. I mean, all these guys that I'm sorry, but I mean, it is what it is. These guys that come in, where's Trubinsky right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't let a draft pick or where I got picked in the draft, or even if I did get picked in the draft, I wouldn't even let that in my mind. All I would let in my mind is, like you're saying, just go out there, prove what your worth is, and do what you got to do. Because you're going to get picked up. There's no doubt. I have no doubt in that.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah.
I
I was gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say my boy Larry Roundtree plays for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Told me right after it was like, whatever happens. I remember my draft process. He told me whatever happens, you're gonna find some type of way. But also remember, those guys that get picked up in those fifth and later rounds is basically in the same spot as you.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and those first round guys, they might get paid more or be seen more, but you can always outwork them and always beat them. So I always thought about that. So I remember him telling me that. And we literally sat and like talked for like 40 minutes. That's my guy. Yeah, we just talked, and I remember that, and that's something that kind of stuck with me because that's kind of how I think of it. Because in reality, I'm humble, and because I always feel like I never had nothing, but I always had to achieve everything. Like even from JUCO, I've been to All-American track and field, and this and that, and again, all conference, all districts, and high school. All these accomplishments that I've had, and I feel like I still have to keep showing and showing. But I feel like me being humble, but I don't care who's in front of me or who's doing this. I'm gonna find a way to win. I'm gonna find a way to be on top. So
you may have to keep proving yourself for a little while longer, but once you do, and once you get into that role and you proved yourself, all that work you put in is going to be worth it. And then the proving phase is over. Then it's just going out there and playing your game the way you know how to play it. And that's all you got to remember, man. I mean, yeah, you got to prove it now. It's a hard. I'm a left-handed dude that pitched, and I threw overhand. Okay, man. I mean, not too many people get picked up as a left-handed pitcher, and I did. And I threw really hard. Now, don't get me wrong. I was throwing 96, 97 miles an hour at 18, but it was I got picked up for different reasons. I got picked up because I had a unique throwing style, and somebody saw something in me that nobody else really seen until after I was picked up. Then I had 7 teams scouting me. So I fought for years to learn how to. And dude, I can't. There's nothing I can do right-handed besides play golf, and I can't even do that anymore. I almost killed a guy playing left-handed, so I had to quit. I had to switch to right hand. Almost killed a dude. I sucked at golf left-handed. That was terrible. But it when you put that grind in and you put that work in, it all pays off in the end. And then it's just you going out there saying, look where I'm at. Look what I achieved by what I did. That's how you have to look at it, man.
Yeah. I just wanted to. I mean, it's important to remember that where you're drafted, if you're drafted, that's all just a number. I mean, it's only going to change is your Wikipedia page. I mean, if we're being honest here, you need the opportunity. I mean, I was going to say, I saw you walked on to Mizzou first too. I think that's awesome. And obviously, you ended up succeeding there, and here, I mean, you're here now, so that's awesome. So I just wanted to. I mean, obviously, you know what it's like to have to prove yourself and come in and work, and it's not going to change. It just takes one opportunity, and sky's the limit from there.
That's it.
My brother always said, well, when I said my friend, he always told me it takes one pair of eyes.
That's it.
That's all it takes. One pair of eyes, you just don't know which pair is coming from. So
that's right. It could be one good eye. Yeah. I mean, it's just one good eye. It could be, a guy with a glass eye. As long as you got one good one, that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters.
So, I mean, kind of going off, or kind of spinning it around here, talking about, I mean, achieving success, and obviously just an opportunity is all you're looking for right now. Just kind of get your foot in the door and roll. And then obviously once you're on a team, everyone has the same team goal. You want to win the Super Bowls, as many as you can. But what's something that you personally want to achieve, whether it's, I mean, all pro or some milestone for yards, or what's something that you personally want to achieve? And that's kind of when is it you got something, or is it just all you just want an opportunity and win?
So it's crazy because I took a lot of interviews and I always thought somebody was going to ask me this question, and you asked me this.
I got you. Let's go.
I mean, I was waiting on this question. It's only one thing that I want to do, and that's it's a lot, but I just want to pass one record that Devin Hester broke. I don't care if it's the most punt returns, the most kick returns, but the one thing I want is the rookie season to at least be able to have more than 6 touchdowns, because he tied the record, which he holds the record. But it's a lot of things he did. He got like 4 things he did, and I just want to be able to do one of them. Besides being awesome and win a Super Bowl, which everyone wants to do, but me personally, I want to do something like to just
that no one else could ever do.
No one could, even if I don't get 21 returns in my career. But if I only get 11 or 10, I got a lot coming. I just want to put that out there. Y'all not the first, but y'all hearing it now. When I get the opportunity, be a lot of house calls. That's one thing that I'm excited for. But that right there, I just want to be able to just do one thing that he did, and that's probably return opening kickoff for the Super Bowl, because he is the only one that ever did that returned the opening kickoff.
That's right.
No one ever scored a punt return in the Super Bowl. I want to do that. I got the list when it comes to special teams. I got that. I'm going to be able to put my name somewhere in on that, because when it's awesome. I can be like, oh, I got a ring, I got this, I got that, but it's going to be one thing that I want in history, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to get one of them things. One of them.
That's it. That's good, man.
I mean, y'all heard it here. It's coming. It's going to happen.
Somebody take a chance. If I get that right special teams coordinator that just wants to set up at least one block for me, I'll do I'll do the rest.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think, given the fact that you didn't have somebody like a Tobe that designs, special team plays, and everything that you did as far as returning the ball, you did basically on your own. That's off script. I mean, that's you making it because you made it. I mean, you did it on your own. So I think in the NFL, especially if you played for a team like the Chiefs that has a coordinator that actually draws up his own scheme for special teams that way, man, I can just imagine what you could do.
Most special teams coordinators look at my decision making. Very good decision. Because again, that can cost the game.
Yeah.
ball roll at the wrong time and it lands on the two could cost you big. Not fair catching it, not or trying to do too much. Sometimes just catch the ball and do that. But a lot of times, at Mizzou, he used to have this stat sheet that Coach Lynch had. He used to mark how many catches you had. I had 99 of 100 catches off of punt return, and that's
huge.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
and one
that's insane.
Drop it, but you know,
Yeah.
Yep.
I felt like it counted because it was out of bounds.
Yeah.
He caught.
I-
He caught it every once in spring, all the way to fall, all the way to the season. And 99 of 100 speaks.
That's huge, man.
I can catch a
Yeah,
shot.
I mean, you can't score if you can't catch it. If you don't
Yeah.
secure that thing, you're not cribbing it. So
Offense can't get on the field if you don't catch it.
that's right.
That's right. That's right. We actually had that little bit of an issue, this year. The Chiefs did at the beginning,
Yeah,
but he made up for it.
He
He
did.
made up for it.
I got to. I remember. Matter of fact, funny little story, kind of going off script. When we first was getting there, he talked about he never returned like punts and stuff
He
like
didn't.
that.
Yeah.
And it was me. I want to say me, him, Justin Ross, and Pacheco, and Matthew Saxton was back there at the time, just catching punts. And I was just kind of teaching him how to judge them just a little bit. But I just remember, like, he said, "Man, you look like you've been doing this your whole life." In reality, I had. My dad used to always throw the ball up, and I used to always find out how to catch it. So judging punts has always been good, and it's always been great for me. But I just know, like, during the time when he was dropping them, I was like, I'm hoping my phone rings sometime today.
Yep.
I hope. I'm like, oh man,
Yep.
he made up for it. He does his job. That's all you want as a player, somebody to overcome adversity, and he did that. So salute to him for that one.
Yep. Well, that's awesome. Especially kind of help him out, showing him the ropes. It's sweet. But I mean,
I tell you,
talked about.
and you were right about that too. Sorry, I was defending him all season long because people were riding him so hard about, I think he had 3, if I'm not mistaken, 3 that he missed during the regular season, and I said, man, you guys are ramming it down this dude's throat, and he has never returned a ball in his life. That is not something he ever did. So how do you expect him to learn it now? I mean, just like, and the one thing Andy did, and I love the fact that Andy did it, was, especially on that, I think it was the last one that he dropped or he missed. Andy put him on offense, and he went out there and made a hell of a catch. As a white, ran a route and just sick ass catch.
That's one thing people don't know about Sky. Sky probably had one drop in college. He really, first of all, everybody don't probably know this, but that man can really catch the pass. Like, he really got some sticky hands. That's the one thing they don't like. He literally can make some crazy catches.
Yeah.
You can watch college film and probably break the film down. He was getting like 11, 12 targets a game, and he only had like one drop pass.
Yeah,
he can really catch. Like, he's a receiver. Returner, he's still trying to learn it, but at the same time, one of them teams where you got to play special teams first. And, get your feet wet. And I just was wishing, like, praying that could have been beat, but hey,
still can be, man. Don't worry. Don't count yourself out yet, man, because that still can. Believe me, that's still on the table. Don't ever count yourself out.
I feel like they making the offense better. He's going to get better on the offensive side, and they're going to need somebody newer to do that job. And if there's only one job that I got to take, I would take it. When you want it so bad, sometimes it's hard to sleep,
Yeah.
I feel that.
You don't understand how bad when I just work so hard. People just don't understand. I work I talk to teams, I do this, I do that. And it's like somebody just give me an opportunity. Especially, me. I originally went to Kansas City camp at like 151 pounds. Because I left Mizzou at 55, but I was training so hard to be ready. I lost weight, but I just weighed in at 168 today. So I've been like 170.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm not finna keep hearing these balls.
Yep.
Hey man, some of the best players in the NFL were that size.
Yeah.
I mean, they really were. So that's not anything to be. That was actually that's an attribute in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, especially in this league.
Yeah.
So people, you know, you're hard to catch when you're smaller. You got those cuts, the agility, and people are diving over you instead of diving at you. That's a good attribute to have, man. So
Yeah. So you mentioned running up. You talking about returning the opening kickoff or touchdown, right?
Hey,
You clearly have thought about that. Put a lot of thought into that. I just
I,
got to know. Maybe not. But I know you thought about this a lot. Do you have a celebration you're gonna hit when you return the opening kickoff? You got a specific one, or is that still just gonna happen?
the specific one, if you ever watch me at Mizzou, I always do the shoulder rolls. That's I never told no one this, so I'm kind of giving y'all all the insiders right now.
there you go, then.
Exclusive.
shoulder rolls that I always do is kind of just, like I said before, everybody always say you too little, so I kind of I flex now. I want to tell you I'm big enough to do everything, so that's why I flex when I do it. Give it just 3 flexes and call it a day. I'm not no voter or nothing like that because I like to let my game speak. I'm not too much of a talker or whatever, but you know I got a sense of humor where I'll have no problem speaking and nothing like that. But
You know who he reminds me of, man? You know who he reminds me of?
That's awesome.
He reminds me of Charkandrick West. His demeanor. He reminds me of Charkandrick West.
I take that. That is good. I take that.
It is good. It is
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Charkandrick's one of the coolest guys on the planet, man. And you remind me a lot of him, man. I will give you that. That's something and that's a compliment in many ways. So
thank you.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I don't really have no dances, no nothing. If you ever watch me at Mizzou, I kind of made that little shoulder bouncer thing. I had everybody kind of doing that.
Man, I was gonna say if you said the gritty, I was gonna click you off the show because I'm so damn tired of that.
That was crazy. My mom kind of hate that everybody does that dance.
It's so old.
Oh my god, they gotta stop doing that,
dude. It's like the Bengals, man. I mean, come on, bro. You got at the time they had 3 players that went to LSU. 3. We had, I think, 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 4, and none of our guys did it. And they got the Who Day. Okay, dude, you're so far away from Louisiana.
It don't.
I mean, it makes no damn sense. Why are you up there saying Who Day? I mean, people are asking who the hell are you because you're talking about this and you're way up north.
Yeah. Hey, I have no clue what they're doing.
Shoot.
I don't either, man.
The greedy. I don't know. It's a good dance.
Played out.
I feel like everybody's kind of do it. Jamar and Justin made it a thing, so I kind of feel like let's just let them just maintain that as their celebration. Everybody else just kind of do your own thing.
Yeah.
Do a cartwheel, somersault, anything.
Anything at all. Anything.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, you clearly have been. I mean, you got hard work, you got discipline. I mean, you clearly have the maturity that it takes to play for a team, especially coming out like this. You can just hearing you talk about, I mean, goals and everything. You can tell. I mean, I think you're ready. I think any team will be lucky to have you, especially your skill set. And I'm sure here before long we'll be seeing a lot of shoulder rolls coming our way. So I'm looking forward to that.
And hopefully it's on our team.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's for us and not against us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to be red and gold. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
There's a few teams I just don't want to see you play for, man. And I know it's just out of pure hatred.
I gotta know. I might.
You want to know? Is that what you? Okay. So first of all, man, my number one team I don't ever want to see you on is the Raiders. Look, man, I've been through some shit with the Raiders. I've been through some horrible, horrible things with the Raiders, man. Horrible things. Things that just unspeakable things.
My
the
dad,
Raiders.
He likes Marcus Allen, though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But, he played for the Chiefs. But afterwards. But Marcus is a different guy. I met him too back in those days, and he was a cool guy, very well mannered dude, very calm, very collected. Didn't and at the time he had a hatred for the Raiders because of the way they did him. So I got along with him really well. But yeah, the Raiders is that team that I just man, damn, if you got any other opportunity, pick somebody else, please.
Guy that I work out with, well, I can say his name, Sam Webb. He actually plays for the Raiders. He's in town right now. We all go work out, stuff like that. Kind of. But he plays for the Raiders, so that's.
Oh, you'd hate the heat out here. I live here, man. By the way,
okay.
And the heat sucks. You don't want to practice in that heat. I mean, I'm just throwing out every scenario that you do not play for the Raiders. So the heat is one of them. The heat's terrible here, bro. It was 118 degrees here Sunday.
Yeah.
118 degrees.
Don't want to practice in that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, it's just but the other team, I wouldn't even, any AFC West team I wouldn't want to see you play for, but that's kind of a given because then you're going to go against us and that's going to suck.
Yep. Twice
a year, so that's going to suck for us. But honestly, man, I would hate to see you go play for either Cincinnati or the Bills. Anybody else, whatever. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's just the growing rivalry. There are a lot of players on those teams that I like. They're a great organization, but just the growing rivalry. It'd be just the same as a division rival at this point. You go do your thing, go win some games with them. But man, when you play if we're getting beat down and you're over here running back the kicks, I'll be going.
I'm not gonna like you no more, man, and I like you.
It's Cincinnati is that they fit my style of offense with the spread offense.
Yeah.
Well,
we're a spread offense.
I know. That's what I can say that spread.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh yeah.
At those two teams. That's just.
I mean, from a strictly non-biased, side of things, I mean, Cincinnati would be a great team to end up playing for and a great organization to play for. But I mean, man, I don't know if I could take it. It might hurt. Hopefully, I need the Chiefs to bring you on before they give Cincinnati an opportunity. That's
I
got
to send this video to somebody up there because that ain't working.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work for me.
If anything, just don't let him go to Cincy.
Please don't let him go there. Do whatever you got to do. I don't care who you cut. Well, I do care who you cut, but just make sure you. And then the Bills thing. Look, man. This is what's nice about doing a show like this is that we're not regulated by anybody. So I say what I want.
Uh-huh.
The Bills, on the other hand, I don't have a hatred towards anybody in particular on that team. I really don't. They're not a good organization. There's a lot of trust factors. I got friends. I talk to a lot of people. And in fact, if you go back and listen to some of our prior shows 2, 3, 4 months ago, I was talking about the exact same problem that they just had and are going through right now. They have trust issues. They have trust issues from a coaching standpoint, from a quarterback standpoint, and from an organization standpoint. And when your players don't trust your organization, there's an issue right there. That's why I say the Bills, man. I want to see you succeed.
I just want a good organization that just don't try to back or I'm gonna give you 110%. Just get honest and just allow me to show everything else. I'll take care of my own.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. And I mean, with your mindset and your abilities, I mean, success is going to follow you no matter what team you end up on. That's
absolutely.
End of the day, it's coming. So
absolutely, man.
Lord's will.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
You'll get there, man. I have got 100% faith you'll get there. I'm putting it out there now. You will be signed. Hopefully, it'll be the Chiefs, but you'll be signed by somebody. Yeah.
Hopefully they see this. We need somebody up there to see this.
I'm sending this shit to somebody. Believe me, I got friends.
Yeah, I know.
So,
well, thank you, because I know training camp gonna start. I know it's crazy. That's another thing. Things work. People can get brought in at different times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is the time. This is the prime window here in the next couple, like this month or so. It'll be
Yeah. I
perfect.
had a boy Damon Hazleton was like played for like Texas. 1 week he came down to the Chiefs at a different. It's just crazy how things just work. But not even a pair of eyes, just a glass eye, a good glass.
That's right.
Eye.
Yep.
One glass
That's
eye.
right.
That's all you got to
That's
have. A guy with a monocle. It don't matter, man. Just somebody, if it's Stevie Wonder and he can feel the vibration of what you can do, I don't care. I'm just saying. That's just how it's got to be. But I think you're going to do well, man. I got a good feeling about you, and I think you're gonna do really well in this league. So,
Yep.
What do you got, Justin? What else you got, man? I don't want to keep him on
that's
here
about
too
out.
long. Man just got done working out, and I'm sure he's probably tired. So,
yeah.
Go get some food. Go rest up. Hopefully.
I'm trying to get to 175 and leave it at that weight right there.
there you go then.
Yep. So.
Well, I was going to ask. I get a lot of guys. We get guests on sometimes, and we ask them about, especially if they have, they didn't live in Kansas City or they hadn't been in Kansas City. We ask them, what do you think of the food and stuff like that. You've been there, so you know. I just got to ask real quick before we end this. What's your favorite barbecue joint? If you say that my place, then you got to sign with the Chiefs. Now, remember, I'm old. There's only 2 places that have been around.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you finna say. All right, I'm gonna say the 2. I think you finna say Oklahoma Joe. What is it? Oklahoma Joe and Q39.
I don't like old school barbecue.
Let's just hear what you think first. Let's hear what you think first.
Yeah, let me hear yours.
Non-biased.
Non-biased.
I like Gates barbecue because
Thank you, God. You better sign with the damn Chiefs.
I like Gates.
Thank you, God.
I love Gates.
Checking my pulse right now, man. Do you understand, Justin? Did you hear what the man said?
Hey, Gates
barbecue. That is the best barbecue in Kansas City.
Yeah, I know a lot. I feel like Jack Stack got to, like, if you wanted to take someone out, Jack Stack got the perfect sit-down spot.
The ambiance, yeah.
Good. But when you just want that barbecue soul, you walk in, how may I help you? They get you beef on bun.
Oh, dude, you're hurting me.
They give you everything you want. And then the sauce. You got to love Gates sauce.
You can't beat. Dude, I have it. You can't buy it here. So I have to either have somebody ship it to me. Funny story. I'll give you a funny one, man. So a buddy of mine was coming out. He's a big gambler. He don't do it no more. He came out here and got rolled. But so he said, "You want me to bring anything from Kansas City?" I said, "Yeah, bring me some damn Gates barbecue sauce." He said, "You want the multi-pack?" I said, "No, man. I want original and extra hot. That's all I want. That's all I take. That's all I care about." He's got, that box that they sell that has 6 bottles in it, but this fool puts it in his suitcase and doesn't wrap it in nothing. Now, understand, this man's got probably $10,000 worth of clothes, if not more, in his suitcase. All right, well, he's sitting there at the airport and the shit's coming around. And as it comes around, you can just see it pouring out the side of his suitcase. Every bottle busted all over his clothes. Every one of them. Mm-hmm. Then he had the balls to ask me. That sauce is so good. Oh, it's so good. Go ahead. He had the balls to ask me if he wanted me to scoop some of it up. I said, it's glass on your clothes, sitting in an air. Come on, man. I love Gates barbecue sauce, but not that much.
I was going to say, that sauce is almost so good, you got to cook up some barbecue and start dipping it in the suitcase.
Oh, God.
I don't know what it is.
They just made it right, bro.
Uh-huh. Yeah, coach, receivers coach at Mizzou, he loves Q39 for some reason. He likes that.
I've been there once. I wasn't like that impressed. He's back.
That big fan, yeah. A lot of people like Arthur Bryant's, and I'm not too big on Arthur Bryant's either.
I'm not either. I don't like their sauce.
Yeah, I feel like Kansas City got a lot of good barbecue, but what kind of makes us a barbecue is everybody got the different type of texture on their sauce.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arthur Bryant tastes like liquid smoke. That's what I don't. I mean, you know what we used to do back in the day? If we wanted all their meats, because they do got some really good meat, you know, if you just get it plain, we would buy like trays of their meat and then go down to Gates and get the sauce. And then you know, that's just how we did it. You know, especially their brisket's the bomb at Arthur Bryant's. I will give them that. But Gates just got it down, man. You got a 80-year-old smoker, and hey, they never changed it. Sure as hell don't clean it. So it just is good. We was down there one time with Lynn Dawson and he was an old news anchor, Larry somebody. Can't remember his name now. He was on the news in Kansas City on Channel 9 forever. They was down there eating.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't even think of
his name. Larry something.
He got some mustache.
Yeah. Damn, man. Anyway, we was down there and they were already in a booth, the one on 12th Street. And they're already in a booth eating, and I was in line, and they were talking to me. And you know, when you're in line at Gates, if you don't, you're not paying attention with that girl, and she says, "Hi, may I help you?" and you don't answer her, they go to the people behind you because you're out. Well, these fools are talking to me, and she bypassed me, and then I got mad. I wasn't mad at her; I was mad at them. I said, "You just got me bypassed." The girl at the desk, she started at the front counter. She started laughing. She goes, "No, I seen who you were talking to." She goes, "I was just messing with you. What do you want?" So I ended up getting the order. But
what you
yeah,
like,
man? What
you like to get?
Man, I used to get you remember the triple stack? It had the ham, the beef, the roast beef, the ham, and the turkey, all three together. That big ass thick sandwich was like. I used to get one of those. I love their fries. Man, I love them fat fries. Dip it in some hot barbecue sauce. That was it. But
what about you? What's your go-to order?
Yeah, what's your go-to down there?
I like a mixed plate.
Yeah, mixed plate's the bomb.
Get ribs, the beef, you get the slabs and baked beans, fries, and all the other stuff. Brisket. I forgot what other thing on it. I don't know what else, but I feel like give me a variety of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just so good. I mean, and the mixed plate's the bomb because you always had your bread underneath everything.
Off bread, a bar.
Yeah. So, well, now I'm starving and I want some Gates. So, if I use my freaking flyer miles, I may just come home just to get it and go back. But yeah, man, I'm glad you said that, man. That solidified everything for me. You got to sign with the Chiefs.
Bring him on.
Yep, I'm calling everybody I know.
Yeah, I remember Mac Jones. Yeah, he was at like mini camp with me, and I remember I told him, man, we both get signed. I'm gonna take y'all to some barbecue spot. I wanted to take some rookies to some barbecue spots, especially just being from down here. I'm like, oh man, I gotta show y'all some spots. I'm really curious to still take someone, but it's not gonna be the same unless like I'm with Kansas City. So that's why I always say it's like But,
what's funny? You hear some of these guys that came in, and the question's always asked, "What barbecue place do you like the best?" And they always bring up places that really aren't like Q39. I mean, I'm like, man, you got Joe's, Rosedale's. Do you remember Rosedale's barbecue? They were the bomb. You had. I don't know if you ever been there, Justin, but you had to. If you went there about 10:30 in the morning, you were wrapped around the building waiting. It was that busy. Like Gates is, and Rosedale's was the bomb. Gates, of course, is the best. And then, people do like Arthur Bryant's. You got Jack Stack, Joe's, and then people say, "Oh, well, Q39 is really good." No, it's not. It's not nothing like those places. It's just not. And I love Joe's. Joe's is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just the sauce makes it for me, and Gates has got the sauce. So,
well. About Kansas City barbecue, we known for having the best barbecue. So you got a lot of varieties to choose from. A lot, but I feel like most people would like to go to the barbecue. They like to go to the ones where they can sit down at.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to go to the ones the hole in the wall. Or
The
something.
hole in the walls. Yep. Like LC. You remember LC's
Yep.
barbecue? That was a place that you could go hole in the well. Didn't have no seats, but the bench outside.
LCs and Big T's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, both of those were great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Now I'm starving.
Man.
You got a fat guy hungry right now, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, man,
Yep.
we really appreciate you coming on, bro.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate for having me.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
We'll have to get back together soon. I mean, hopefully here end of the season or something, you'll have some pretty cool season stories to tell. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
we'll have to.
You got to
get
come
together
back
soon.
on the show, man. You got to come back on.
When I'm free, I'm all for it.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right, man. Now I don't care who
Yep.
you're playing for, even if it's the damn Raiders,
Yep.
which I don't think it's going to be, but just God's will, it won't be. I want you to play. I just don't want you to play for them. But hey, you know the one thing about it, I'll be here for another year, then I'm out.
Well,
God, I'm out.
I'm okay.
So if you end up here, we'll have to meet up and they brag about Vegas food, but it ain't that good. There's a couple places that are good, but
I've been to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you eat any place out here?
I can't remember the place last time I've been. I was younger. I know I stayed at like the Excalibur Hotel and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I can't remember which place, but it wasn't.
No. It's like Italian food. The Italian food out here, man, it's spaghetti with ketchup, and they charge you $400 for it. It ain't no good.
Yeah.
So commercialized, bro. It's all commercialized out here. So, but yeah, man. If you do somehow end up out in Vegas, there is a couple good spots. We'll meet up. I'll take you to a couple good spots. If you like Italian food, there's one, only one. Not like Kansas City where you got your variety of them, but one good Italian place. And no good barbecue. So just so you know, ain't no good barbecue out here. But anyway, man, we really appreciate it, bro.
Yep. And I mean, I think a lot of congratulations are in place just for getting to where you are now. But I mean, we wish you the best of luck moving forward. And if there's anything we can do for you, give us a holler. I mean, obviously, the best is still ahead of you. So we're excited to see how it unfolds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks, bro.
Lowers
all
will,
right, man.
red and gold. So, but hey,
there you go, man.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, bro.
We'll be talking to you.
Well, it was good having him on, man.
That was cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And he said the right thing, man. Did you hear him?
Oh, I know.
He got his first. There was no bias in that. He said Gates. And that he's got to sign with the Chiefs. I got to send this. This tape's got to get sent off.
But hey, it's gonna happen. I mean, I love, dude. He's a young guy, but he just has such a veteran mentality. Just he was focused on the team. I mean, and numbers. I mean, he's an athlete. I mean, he's talking about All-American track. He boxed. That's what you look for. I mean, he's an athlete. He's smart. I mean, I want him.
Yeah. And boxers take, the one thing about boxers, it doesn't matter what weight class they're in. Their bodies are built for the punishment.
Yep, their footwork, their handwork, especially
everything's
receiver, returnman. Your hands are good. I mean, I like it.
Yep.
So,
and the fact that he's played multiple positions. I mean, offense and defense. I mean, God,
you just know it better. Even if, I mean, not only can he play those, but he just if you've played corner and you're a receiver, I mean, you know exactly what he's thinking too. So you can kind of mix match that. That gives you an advantage too. So
exactly.
But
it was awesome to have him on, and thanks to you. Good job.
Thanks, sir.
We will
shout out to him. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some shoulder rolls in Kansas City here real soon.
Damn, I hope so. I don't know why, but I got a weird feeling he might end up on this team, and I don't know why I keep feeling it. It's not just because of the Gates comment. That was a great comment.
That helped,
feel like
but
it helped a lot. But I got a feeling he's got the right mentality, and he's got the attributes and he's got the tangibles to be a Chief. So
bring him on.
Bring him on. I mean, because we got a lot of spots, that are, look, man, people are going to be on the streets. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can bring him on even if it's for a season of practice squad just to get him acclimated to the team and get him ready to go. and give
He's
him
got
that
what it
shot.
takes.
He
Yep.
does.
He gets in the door, he's getting the contract. He can
Absolutely.
practice. Yeah. So.
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well,
appreciate everybody for joining. Thank you, Foco Sports, and we will talk to you guys again tomorrow night. Peace out, everybody.
go Chiefs.